Hello and welcome to Bottom Line, your weekly enlightenment and good governance campaign talk show. It's less than 3 months to the D-Day, June 24th, the day that will welcome the next presidential, parliamentary and local council elections in Sierra Leone. Already, the two main political parties, the ruling Sierra Leone People's Party and the opposition All People's Congress, already have their flag bearers and running mates, following their respective national delegates conferences. 3 other parties were deemed to provide a third force following their great showing in the general elections that followed their formation. The People's Movement for Democratic Change (PMDC), the National Grand Coalition (NGC), and the Coalition for Change, the C4C. Some political commentators hold the view that these 3 parties are now on life support, gasping for survival, and the idea of a third force remains an illusion. With under 3 months left, there are questions as to whether they have the capacity to field in candidates for the various positions. In the studios to respond to these speculations is Abu Bakar Santos Bangura, who is the interim public relations officer of the C4C Coalition for Change. Welcome to Bottom Line.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kapua.
Let's get started, Mr. Bangura. The C4C, or Coalition for Change, they have made a reasonably very good showing. In the last elections, you are represented in Parliament. You had members of Parliament winning seats, particularly in your home district of Kono. Where is the C4C at the moment?
Well, thank you very much for having me once more. I think we are where we're supposed to be, as usual.
And where is that?
I want to take your attention and viewers and listeners' attention to what we did in 2018. We made significant mark in the history of our political landscape in 2018 when we got our certificate of registration from the PPRC on the 20th of December 2017. We made significant gains by having 8 parliamentary seats from Kono district. That is less than 3 months. I am going to assure listeners and viewers that C4C is where it's supposed to be. In less than 3 months again, we're going to make a remarkable achievement come June 24.
What are the signs?
The signs are so glaring because we were in court and the Honorable Justice Adrian Fisher, in his wisdom, decided to grant us a permanent leave, and he decided in his wisdom to set up a 21-man committee which should steer the ship for the Coalition for Change. And that 21-man persons has been constituted, and we are gradually working towards our lower level elections, and there are so many other achievements we made.
Talking about lower level elections, is this not the 11th hour, 59th minutes of those preparations? You have the ruling Sierra Leone People's Party, the opposition, All People's Congress, main opposition. They have concluded their own, delegates conference. They now have their aspirants, flag bearers, as the case may be. They even have now their running mates. And at this time, at this stage, we are still yet to hear about you. You are yet to have your delegates conference. How prepared are you?
We on it, as I said earlier on the 4th of March, we had our zonal elections wards. Then on the 6th of March, we had our constituency elections. And tomorrow, on Wednesday the 28th, we'll be holding our district elections. And on the 29th, we'll be holding our regional elections. Then we've slated the dates for the 1st and the 2nd of April, where we're going to elect our national officers, our flag bearer, and the running mates. So I think we are on it, and we are so prepared because had we not been on the right track, we wouldn't have seen the signs, the massive turnout coming out from our stronghold, which is Kono District. People are gliding up and down, wanting our symbols to represent us come June 24.
You appear to lack confidence, lack presence, when we compare your enthusiasm now to that of 2018, when you were all over the place and your presence was felt all over the place. Why are you dampened, if at all?
Well, it's a perception which I don't hold at all, because considering our efforts, the 21-man committee I'm referring to, the necessary strides we've made is a convicting message to Sierra Leoneans that the C4C is the only third force that is going to make history, because we've never had a third force that has been represented for a second time in our national politics. And C4C is going to do that. I assure you and the public that if you go to Kono currently, where we plan to hold a national delegates conference, we are all over Kono. Whatever any other political party has decided to do in Kono is just wasting his or her time, because there is where we're going to make our mark and take all over the country as we did in 2018.
Talk to me about the leading aspirants, especially for the flag bearer position.
Well, that is something which is in-house. I'm not going to let that currently, because
people are aspiring. It's not about the person who is likely to win. We are talking about those who have, manifested interest in leading or bearing the flag.
Well, we have most of them are in the diaspora, some of them are in Freetown.
Do we know them? Who are they?
Well, we have one from a school and a lot of other people which they told me not to mention their names, because they want to send a shockwave to the nation when they see them appearing for that position.
How many,
We have 7 of them currently.
For the flag bearer position?
7 of them.
How competitive are the other, elections, especially the regional elections and maybe the district elections?
Yeah, they're very competitive, because considering the amount of applications we've received in our office, it shows people are so interested in the C4C, because they are no more interested in the SLPP and the APC, because it's too much of them and we've not achieved as a nation what we deserve.
Recently, His Excellency the President, was in Kono, and I also recall some opposition members, from the All People's Congress. We are also in Kono. We saw footages all over the place of their presence, meeting people. They are making remarkable inroads in all of those. What assurance, or what guarantee have you that the C4C then remains the C4C now?
Well, I don't understand what the inroads are, because as far as we are concerned,
people in Kono declared openly their support, for instance, for the ruling Sierra Leone People's Party, and known members of the C4C. We are on camera, we are on set, declaring their support. It's as though you remain on live support, the C4C.
I don't think so. I don't want to be talking about those declarations. Those declarations, in our own view, they are petty. They are not going to shake us, because we are steadfast. We know what we're going for. And those declarations, I will assure you, they did them without them resigning from the C4C. So
must they resign?
Yes, it's a must. I cannot aspire for another position in another political party.
No, they are not aspiring for positions, and they are just declaring their support.
I want to take your memory back. Our mayor, who represented us in the last council.
The mayor is just one person.
Yes.
If you are a member, as you are now, of the C4C,
yes,
and you believe this other party has done so much that you think you can fly with the opinion, yes, you can resign as per protocol, but that does not stop you from actually throwing your support, if at all. If you're a member of parliament, perhaps you will need to, or if you hold executive positions in your party, you will need to resign from those positions. But it's about support.
Yes, we know it's about support, but these are people that held positions.
Do you regret their resignations?
We don't, because we consider them not being members of other political parties. They are members. That's what we know. And that's what we believe. And we'll continue to maintain that until there comes a time when they will decide to resign from our party. Then we consider them being members of other
Now, let me draw your
parties.
attention to another bit. Let's talk about your existence outside Kono, because it would appear that Kono remains your very stronghold, your base, without which you are nothing.
Well, I think it boils down to something which we consider to be clairvoyant. You know, you look at the political landscape. What is so special about Kono? People think Kono should be neglected. And that's what we saw and decided to hold firm to. If you consider the elections in this country, the deciders are Kono. And because it's the...
So are you on mere kingmakers?
Well, for the past election we did, and we're going to do that again, because, you know, you have to take steps to go where you want.
When you say
to
you're
go.
going to do that again, are you merging forces with other political parties?
Don't forget our name is Coalition for Change. We're always ready to merge with people or political parties that believes in what we believe in, which is nation first.
In the circumstance, I mean, which political party is highly likely to canvass your support for merger?
Well, we are open to see which political party that speaks to the issues of the people of this country. We will not want to let them down. We are a political party that is more akin to changing the narratives of the politics in this country, and that's what we maintain. Regardless of your money, regardless of the power that you have, if you are not seeking the interests of the people of Sierra Leone, C4C will never coalesce with you.
Yes, I mean, that's just the broad policy or position or framework within which you work. As it is now, practically, I mean, if the C4C, we have to throw its support to what political party is it likely that such support will be thrown?
Well, we will not say for now, because we've not seen which one will present.
Is it the case that even at this stage you have not seen, you cannot tell
No,
from the parties, the main SLPP, the opposition, All People's Congress, the other political parties? Is it a case that you do seem to spot possible, characteristics, you know, that may perhaps give cause to the C4C to its support for a merger?
Remember, you not just throw your support because you want to throw support. Cards must be on the table. Look at the cards. You see what is good for the people of this
So
country.
it's more of a political alliance or an electoral alliance?
It's about Sierra Leone. If those cards does not speak to the issues of Sierra Leoneans, then C4C will not merge with you.
What are those cards?
Those cards are the economy, the bread and butter issues of Sierra Leoneans, you know, the electricity, good governance, the rule of law, you know, freedom of speech and association. Those are the things Sierra Leoneans are clamoring for. And if you throw your cards without them embedded in those cards, C4C will never merge with you.
Talk to me about your presence outside Kono.
It is obvious that we are all over the place, because had it not been so, the Political Party Regulations Commission will have revoked.
Yeah, you may have offices in all of those areas. In terms of support, I mean, Western area, the East, the South, how strong is your support? I mean, once you leave Kono?
We have massive support. It will shock the nation this time for them to see us having representatives from all over the country this time. It's not like the last time wherein, you know, there were so many presence of other political parties. And these elections, I want to assure you, it's about APC, SLPP and the C4C. So come what may, our presence is going to be seriously felt.
People will start wondering what remains of the party following the departure of once your strong man, the former Vice President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Mr. Samsumana, Alhaji Samsumana, now a member of the All People's Congress. How shaken is your base following, his resignation or departure from the party?
No, we are not shaken by his decision because it's long happened. We used to it now. We are about to make some inroads where necessary across the country. Alhaji Samsumana is a gunner, is APC, and we respect him and we wish him all the best in the APC. But for the C4C, we remain the coalition for change.
Do you miss him?
Well, of course we do, because we know what he did, considering his membership during those days. We really missed him, but we need to do what is right for the people of this country.
Who has taken his place?
A lot of other people are vying for that position, and I assure you we're going to have one that is going to be significant as he was.
Talk to me about your financial ability in terms of supporting your party, even in terms of having your delegates conference across the country and all of it. It involves money.
Oh, sure, it does. We want to make clear that this party was formed in the US in the early months of 2017, where we have a lot of diasporas. We have so many intellectual brain power which can match any of those two big political parties. We have minds that can produce whatever this country is clamoring for. In terms of our financial strength has always been from the diaspora, and we have them, they are ready, and by tomorrow a lot of them will be jetting in.
The 31st is the date for the flag bearer election. Is it the leadership of the party?
The 1st and the 2nd of April.
You were having all of those?
Yeah, we're having a national delegates conference where we elect some national officers and our flag bearer and their own inmates.
Where is that? Kono?
In Kono.
And that is why people start wondering that once you are taken from Kono, not much is left, to talk about the coalition for change.
Well, that is what history is speaking about. But for us, we believe in the future, and the future is going to speak more louder than the past. I promise this podium and the listeners and viewers that come June 24, will shock this country and the world at large for the second time. We did it in 2018, we're going to do it again in June, because our structures are clearly speaking to us that yes, we're going to make the necessary gains that we deserve.
Talk to me about the politics in Kono. Reports suggest your party is polarized, divided, different factions all together, to the extent that even the High Court at some point had to dissolve, the past executive having an interim body and all of this. You have some members throwing their support, for one political party. You have other members throwing their support for another political party, and just dividing even the Kono population and all of those. Talk to me how much this is, eating deep, if at all, into your party.
Well, I'm glad you said if at all. It did not, because we know people were of the opinion that, C4C is in court. They will never leave the court premises until after the June 24th elections. So that's why you saw all of those things were happening in Kono. And one thing that begs a lot of question is why the APC and the SLPP are running to Kono. It is because we saw what they did not see at that time. That the only way you can make the necessary changes in this country is for you to get Kono. And so we are not bothered. We know what we've put in place, and those things are going to yield dividend.
And talking about these other parties running to Kono to seek their support, what is it that you have? What is it that you can give you know, to either of the parties, you know, if only to have edge over the other?
Well, I think this current government will attest to this question, because when they were in opposition, they were not even with the idea as to how to gain power. It's because of our support during the runoff that gave them power. And so we see them going again, stabbing us at our backs because we did them a favor. And we want to tell them...
When you say stabbing, what do you mean?
Yes, because you cannot walk with me at night. In the morning you ask me why my eyes are red. You know I was crying for you. You know the support I gave to you. In 2018, they understood clearly what we did for them to be in the reins of power currently. So if they are going now to Kono without consulting us, it means they want to destabilize our party, and which is so unfair.
Now, the constitution of this country provides for freedom of movement. You can go anywhere, at any time, at any stage. Has it occurred to you that they just are ignored, they don't want to talk to you? Or are you bothered about the fact that they are just in Kono?
Well,
is it your conclusion that they have ignored, they don't want to talk to you? Or are you just shaken that they are in Kono without telling you? Must they tell you?
Well, we will not say they must tell us, but...
On what compulsion must they?
Good. This is the compulsion. When they wanted our support in Kono, they were compelled to talk to us. Not because we asked them to.
Have they said they don't need your support anymore?
Well, by all indications.
Or are you just concluding that by their presence, without your say-so?
We know when they were broke like us, when they were in opposition, when they were broke like us.
When you say broke, what do you mean?
They were financially handicapped. That was so clear. Because by the time we were negotiating with them...
Why say so?
Because...
Any evidence to suggest that indeed, because they were in opposition, they
oh no, that is a clear manifestation in this country. You know, our political leaders are like, you know, those Poda apprentices. When once they drop from those steps, they are broke like they've never worked before. That's exactly what is happening in our country. When once any political party is out of power, they are broke unless they go around galvanizing support from other members from across the world.
But even parties in power need support from their membership or otherwise. I mean, they always go out. So for me, I'm not sure that makes strong
Mr.
case.
Kapua,
yes.
Mr. Kapua, don't tell
at
me.
Any rate, let's get back to this so that we don't lose sight of this. That they are in Kono to talk to the people of Sierra Leone, to seek support, and even before they sought your support the other, I mean in 2018 or so, they were also in Kono at varying times.
Okay, I will accept for a moment, but let me take you extensively. The President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Dr. Julius Maada, has visited Kono more than Kenema district. Why so? Because in his mind, it is clear that Kenema is in full support of the SLPP. But Kono is not fully in support of the SLPP. So they know it's a stronghold. We are not saying they should consult us before going to Kono. But there should be that, you know, that sort of respect for the membership of the
C4C. Is it late?
Well, I'm not saying it's late. I hope I am not giving them a leadway to do what is right.
Would you open your doors if they knock?
We always. This is the coalition for change. Our name, you know, it speaks volume of our character. This is the coalition for change. Whatever that is good for the people of this country, the coalition for change is ready to work in that direction.
Now you grabbed, if you like, about 8 seats, did you just say?
Yes.
In the last elections.
Yes.
From the look of things, how many seats now we have proportional representation? How many seats, I mean, on a scale of 10, do you think?
100%. 100%. You're going to have all those 10 seats.
1 over 10, I mean, for the time being, not 10 seats anyway. But if you had to evaluate your chances, I mean, over 10, gauge your preparedness?
That's what I'm telling you. We have all those 10 seats. Nobody's going to have one seat in Kono if it's not C4C. That's how I'll assure the public.
Talk to me about your, not so much about your vision at this stage, because like we have said, it's only the opposition of People's Congress, it's only the main SLPP that are all over the place making their presence felt. Much, not so hard, but from the NGC, from the C4C, and other political parties. What are you trumpeting this time around to actually canvass support from across the country, not only Kono?
Yes, we're trumpeting on the youths. I think the youths have not enjoyed what this country's been set up for. You know, we want to speak to the youths this time, and all our representatives across the country are going to be youths for a simple reason. This is the land that we love, Sierra Leone, and you cannot love something that does not give love in return, and that's what we're going to speak to this time. A lot of things have happened within these 4 to 5 years when the SLPP are in power. You know, it's no gainsay that the economy is dwindling. A lot of other things are happening. So what we want to look forward to is to speak to the youths for them to understand that this is not the Sierra Leone that our forefathers wanted for us.
8 seats, all from Kono,
Yes.
in 2018.
No, there was one. There were 9 seats.
9 seats.
APC got 1.
Okay. I mean, yeah, but this for the C4C, I mean,
C4C got 8.
all from
Kono.
Kono.
Yes.
Are we likely to see you gaining seats in other areas, in other districts? I mean, in June, when we're having the elections or so, if the answer is yes, the affirmative, what are the prospects? What are the signs, you know, because there's still this concern as to whether the C4C has a national character when it comes to amassing support, when it comes to making presence in all of those areas.
You know, when people always refer to the C4C as a Kono political party, it's a stronghold. Let people don't lose sight of that. It's a stronghold. But we have that national outlook. Myself seated there, born and raised in Western area. I am a Tilne by tribe. But it speaks volume about the caliber of people and the national emblem that we represent in the C4C. We have our next stronghold is going to be Port Loko. It will shock this country that yes, the C4C is all over Sierra Leone. It's not about Kono. Port Loko, because you know there is one particular district where much is needed to be done. We've seen the APC in power. The people of Loko are just in that same corner. SLPP is here promising them new things, but the C4C is going to speak to the things that they've been missing all these years, and that's what we did in Kono. We made sure we read all the districts. What is lacking? What are their weak points? And we decided we're going to start with Kono. Kono is just a starting point. We're going to go all over the country because there are so many things lacking in other districts. But you know, people just believe in the APC and the SLPP, not wanting to take the bold step of having a statistical survey of what is lacking in the other districts.
A lot of people, I mean, listening to you, would conclude that from what you have said so far, it would appear that for the time being, the C4C is viewed more or less as kingmakers, and that your zest to take over the reins of power is far-fetched.
Well, we will appreciate that more than being the king right now, because we must be careful not to ask for what we cannot bear. It is our responsibility as Sierra Leoneans to help this country be a better place. If we cannot be president, we can help to make a better president. And that is what we did in 2018. I will not be ashamed to do that again in 2023, because this is what we have at the moment. And we are very much satisfied with it. And we are appreciative of people understanding that we are the kingmakers.
Is the C4C a member of APA? And we have another, is it COP? C-O-P-P also, yes.
Well, we're not too interested in those organizations because both of them are loose organizations. Yes, both of them are loose organizations. So it will not bother us to either be in one of them. But our focus currently is to make sure.
Any further particulars when you say they are loose organizations?
Yes, they are. I'm saying they are loose because both of them are not recognized by the government of Sierra Leone. These are organizations. The organization that was carefully registered was APA. This one is APA Sierra Leone. That APA had long been dissolved. So we will not want to bother ourselves with those two. And COP is also a loose organization because we understood they lose their registration about 1 year ago. So we're not too bothered about them. We just focus on watching what the country is lacking right now.
What's your membership strength?
Our membership strength is growing every day. If I call a figure right now, I'll be disadvantaging our statistical office at our headquarters.
I mean, we can just, we don't mind the minimum threshold.
Oh, the minimum. We're up to 1,500,000 right now.
Members?
Yes.
1,500,000?
Yes.
Members of the C4C?
Yes.
That's interesting. Now, they are caused by political parties for the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone, CSL, I mean, to lower the threshold, especially for parliamentary seats. I mean, some civil society organizations like CAL, I mean, has made that very clear, that for participation and all of this in the electoral process, when the political, on democratization of the country, I mean, we should see the threshold, to gain seats for parliament lowered. Where do you stand?
Well, we're standing on that same footing because we want more people to be represented, and that threshold is kind of stifling other smaller political parties to be represented in parliament. But no matter how we cry about it, it is now a rule. So it's very, very difficult for us to be speaking about it without having any effect out of it.
When you say any effects, what do you mean?
No matter how we talk about it right now, the threshold is 11.9%. So what are we to do about it? We do have nothing to do. No matter how we talk about it, we bring out our forces, it will never change unless we have another time to do that after the elections.
June 24th, we're talking about presidential, we're talking about the general elections, we're talking about local council elections. Do you have candidates to fill all of those positions?
We always have them. In the past elections, we are the third political party to register almost every seat that was available to be registered for. If you check the records...
That was then, this is now.
Yes, I tell you, we did it, we're going to do it again. This is the coalition for change. Trust me, we have everybody on board. You think of quality, lawyers, doctors, you name them, we have them. So we have no fear to be represented again this time.
Are you contesting for a seat yourself?
Yes, I did so the last time, and I'm sure I'm going to do that again this time.
And what are we looking at?
Well, we will look forward to quality leadership like I did the last time. People will know me.
Was it for a parliamentary seat?
Yes, I ran for a parliamentary seat at Constituency 122 by then. And this time I'm going to run
in the Western area?
Yeah, in the Western area.
Are you still, do you intend vying for, a seat in that same constituency, or are you shifting?
Well, it's a district block system, so I intend to be in the same Western Urban District this time again.
What is it that, you missed out on probably that cost you that seat, and that you think this time around can favor you?
Well, a lot this time, because I told them the last time that the APC and the SA people will not make a better representation for them in Parliament. And now I need not tell them that they had a very dormant representative in the well of Parliament when you talk about Constituency 122. The Honourable that was there, that was removed, and the one currently there is so dormant. He cannot even make any steps to make the people of Constituency 122 proud. And then
how so?
Well, the records are there.
Tell me more.
It's very, very dormant. If you check Ali Koyo, you talk about the serious parliamentary members, you will not call Ali Koyo.
I don't know your definition about serious parliamentary members, but we talk about the Honourable Aliu Koyo, who is seen almost always in Parliament, has made representations in terms of in terms of even the development of the laws that we have, contributions and all of those. I don't seem to understand whether your argument is in view of his contributions to in his constituency, but if it borders on contributions in the well of Parliament, contributions to debates and all of this, perhaps you may want to say otherwise.
Well, we first of all have to look at what the people of Constituency 122 understands about what is happening in Parliament. That is more the reason why each and every member of Parliament must have a constituency office. You go to 122, there is no constituency office for the honorable member there, because that is where the people must be heading to understand what is happening in the Parliament, what are the laws that are in front of them to enact, a lot of other things, which oversight is providing. All of those things
are you sure you'll be given the nod by your party?
Oh, of course. I am highly respected in my political party, because they know I am a very, very strong man. When I say I am working towards something, I work towards it with the fullest conviction.
And there may be other maybe candidates from the other political parties. What sets you apart from them eventually when you get to the polls? Well,
the thing that sets me apart from them is very, very simple. I grew up through the ranks in my constituency. I started as a football player. I became a barber. That was the most popular barber in my constituency. I left, I went to university. I became a student leader. And so I have gone through the ranks. Whatever I do, I make sure
what can you point to or point at in your constituency? As a starting point, insofar as some community developments, are an issue. To give that confidence to the people that indeed, once he assumes, the leadership of this constituency.
Well, you go to my constituency, you ask the people there, they will tell you that yes.
He was a good footballer?
Well, it's not about the football.
He was a great barber?
Well, it's not a part of the barbing part of it. It's because our constituency, where I hail from, is well known for gangsterism, those trouble causing people. That's what they know our community for. But for me to hail from that community, and I am now seated here talking on national issues, that in itself is self-conviction for my people to note that yes, from this mode, that makes a very great man like that.
Like just coming to the national TV where anybody can come and then say their bit?
It's not just coming to the national TV. It's about you able to speak about the issues that are brought in front of you. Had I not been in those ranks, trust me, it will be a shaky moment for me to be seated there talking to a very honorable man like you.
What's next for the C4C after the 31st of or the 4th of April, did you say?
The 2nd of April.
Yes.
We'll make a very big outburst in this country that our presence will be fully felt.
Let's leave it there. Thank you very much. He is Abu Bakar Santos Bangura, and he's the spokesperson for the time being, the interim public relations officer of the Coalition for Change, the C4C political party, and they are preparing for their elections. I mean, district, regional, and eventually they'll be having their national delegates conference by next month. The second we're told everything will be done. And he was just talking to me about how the C4C, I mean, is preparing itself, you know, for the June 24th presidential, let's just say the public elections. We can wish all of them well. I mean, we hope to have very good elections, violence-free elections in this country come the 24th of June 2023. That's how we end this program, the interview with the interim public relations officer of the C4C. We hope to engage other political parties like the People's Movement for Democratic Change, the National, Grand Coalition, the NGC. All of these, you know, have been deemed to provide a strong third force, you know, but then reports suggest otherwise lately. But we hope to gauge their preparedness for the elections, God willing. Where you missed part of all of this edition, join us next Tuesday for a fresh edition. We'll endeavor to have a repeat broadcast of this show. Otherwise, we are back. Thanks to all of you, those who join us live here at Broadcasting House, those who listen to us on radio. As usual, the program was produced by Tilly Kroma, with many thanks to members of the technical crew. Joseph Egbinda Kapua is the name, wishing you all a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.